Welcome to Lightning Strikes, home of the Oak Farms League. This is week number 19. We're going to review. Last week we saw some big scores. We saw Bobby Hammerton almost shoot 800. He shot 270, 279, 277 back to back. What are your thoughts about that on TV?
Bobby Hammerton bowled great, and he's one ball away from 800. He had an open in the last game. The young man has carried the team the last few weeks. Make that pink hammer talk when he switched to it. He switched to it the last two games a week before and shot 533, and then shot 785. That's about 15-20 or so for five, or 13-20 for 5 games. Fantastic bowling, all with the pink hammer. Yeah, that ball reads the pattern perfect for him.
I saw him and John Fister out here practicing today.
Oh, they were practicing today.
Yeah. All right.
They want to win. There's no doubt about it. They've got great chemistry, and I like the idea that they're coming in a few days early, working on their game. That's what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely. That's why they're winners.
Yeah.
All right. Match number 1 is going to be the EBA Pro Shop team number 4. They took 10. They're in 15th place. They bowled against the go-to 114. Or 11th place. Robert Eddy had an absolute battle with Isaac Martinez. Game 1, the boss shot 232, 263 to beat Ice, 234, 256 by 7 pins. Game 2, both players hit transition, with Robert winning that game 196 to 183. Ice rallied in Game 3, shooting a big 255, 277 to Robert's 220, 251, taking Game 3 and squeaked out total 716 to 710. Jaquez Khan, pronounced Khan, had the high scratch series on the TV pair, shooting 716 against the best name in bowling, House Brown. Shot games 246, 257, games 1 and 2, but House Brown took game 3 with a 237 game and a 611 scratch, going 1 and 3 versus Jaquez Khan. The newest member of the GOATs, Dave Covington, the 1992 Resident Pro Regional Championship, who went 3-1 versus our House Pro, our House Brown Holy Manager win game 2. The newest member of our GOATs, Dave Covington, he went 3-1 versus our House Pro, Scott Cobb, who only managed to win Game 2 with a 236 game. Dave shot games of 246, 213, 226 for 685. And John Rakowski, who has been on fire late, seemed to cool down in the first week of the second half, only shooting a dismal 607. Jay Rucker, the former Prior champion, struggled back-to-back weeks on the TV pair, shooting 599. They ended up splitting their match, Larry, 2-2. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Rakowski just having an awful night. As great as he is, I would have never expected 607 after what he was coming off of. The last 6-7 weeks he was on fire. And if you look at the total, 27-19, 27-73, 54 pins, you can probably put that on Rakowski. If you shoot 662, they win total, and that's still under his year average of 227, which is a 681. So when you look at that, you say, well, they didn't win total. They won 10 points. Rakowski was in control of that, and he bowled bad. And he knows it. One thing about John is he'll lay it on the line with you. He knows he bowled bad. He knows he probably cost the team some points. But that's what makes him great. Usually the great ones bounce back, and he will.
Yep, absolutely. I guess they're going out to the TAT this week too, right?
Yep, they're going out to the TAT. Scott Cobb with a bad night also. You figure between the first of them, both of them, 1230. For 6 games, a 205 average. That's just not good for those two bowlers in the 3rd and 4th position on a very good team. 1230 for 6, not good.
Yeah, Scott's been struggling lately.
Terrible.
Yep. All right, they're the rebound next week. All right, match number 2 is going to be team number 2, Frank and Beans. They won 10. They're in 14th place. And Brightview Financial, the team that won the first half, won 14. They're in 10th place. Mike MVP Durkin had a 4-pin loss to Tyler Pillard, 234 to 238 in game 1. Then followed up losing game 2. MVP Mike won game 3, 222 to 172, which was just enough to take total 672 to 668, 4 pins to split their match. Brad Zielinski lost the first 2 games like MVP Mike did, even lost game 2, 255 scratch to Scott Tchaikovsky, 266 scratch. Big Brad was able to shoot a big game 3, 242 scratch to take the total 736, 693 for a split. Reggie Kahn was no match for Bobby Hammerton, who started off the night with the 279 game, followed up game 2 with a 277 game, having a shot for 800, needing a 244 in game 3, but was only to grind out a 229 game for a 785 scrap series, sweeping his match. It was awesome to watch his young talent just crush the pocket Wednesday night. 2-time PBA regional champ Chuck Rucker returned the favor to the great John Fister, sweeping the league second highest average with games of 215, 214, 218 for 657. John really couldn't string strikes against Chucky, shooting a low series from 634, Larry.
Well, again, the same thing with Rakowski. You get two anchormen, both second or third, or first and third or fourth in the league in average, and all of a sudden way below average, and they lose total, they lose 4 games. And you've got to be on now, because if the anchormen are not going to carry the team, which they have, the rest can't carry it. If you get an anchorman that gives you 634, who's averaging 230 in the league, it's normally a 690.
That's right.
And there you go.
60
He's 0 for
pins.
4. Chuck Rucker just bowling steady, nothing great, but he wins 4 games.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
And Brightview still 14-10, so I
Yeah,
think
they got
that-
lucky.
Yeah.
They got lucky with an 0-4.
With
You
Biden.
know, in a way, they got to count their blessings, because if Pfister's on, they could have won 19. They got 14 on a bad night for Pfister. So in a way, they got a break.
They did.
Oh yeah,
Came out on
they got a
top.
break.
All right, our next match is match number 3. Match number 3 is team number 8, Diamond Security. They won 9. They're in 16th place. They bowled against team number 17, Owen WB, who won 15th, who jumped up to 7th. Roy Parrish bowled fantastic, sweeping Matt the Strike Machine Rizzo. This is the 3rd time this year Matt's been swept shooting 700 scratch. Roy bowled games of 235, 214, 245 for 694, and 781 with handicap versus Rizzo's 246, 228, 238 for 712 series. Dick Hoagland swept Dustin Clark, a really good put anything together on Wednesday night. Dick had 724 with handicap, winning that match. Mark Pulaski Jr. broke through this week with a very solid 725 series and 782 with handicap to sweep Brian Copeland. Mark had gains of 279, 239, 210. It's no secret Mark's been struggling here as late, but it looks like he's back with exactly what this team needs about now. Mike Schumacher had a big game in 3, having the front 8 to shoot 267, but Corey Umstow, who's subbing for Matt Hodgman, took this match 3-1 bowling games of 243, 199, 222 for 666. The same series as Mike Schumacher had. They both shot 66 scratch.
Well, a little difference in average, a little difference in handicap. He's got a 3-1. They went 15. That's a pretty good team considering right now. I believe if Roy Parrish can shoot 640, 650, which he's capable of, and get Dick Hoagland loose where he can shoot 520 to 550, they could take some games early as the 1 and 2 bowlers. They're definitely capable of it. They've got a lot of handicap. Corey Umstow bowled very well, obviously, against Mike Schumacher. He's a 190 average bowler, shooting 666, 96 pins above average.
Yeah, that's TCU. Part of Matt's team.
Bowled very well.
He did.
Nice to see.
Yep.
15 points for that team.
I think he
And of
cashed.
course, with the season starting over, all of a sudden, they got a chance.
Everybody's all excited now.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was
glad.
0-0.
Glad they bowled well.
Little new name, little few different names on top. All right, match number 4 is going to be team number 6, Loot. They won 13th. They're in 12th place, and they bowled against team number 19, Stupid Corner, who finished last place the first half, but they're going to do big things this second half. They won 11. They're in 13th place. Joe Lasik lost game 1 to Danny Wilson's, 215, 258 to 242, 262 with handicap by 4 pins. But Joe wins games 2 and 3 and took total by 13 pins, winning their match 3-1. The opposite of the first match, Justin Aldridge takes game 1, but Matt Pfeiffer wins game 2 and 3 and takes total by 5 pins, winning that match 3-1. Scott Whiteleather bowled a little above average with a 609 series, but Merle Billy, who we saw in the action matches with his partner Mark Pulaski Jr., bowled games of 214, 198, a huge 279 game for 691, taking that match 3-1. And Mike Boyd has the average up to 221. Has been bowling fantastic a few months. Darren was close in the first 2 games, losing total by 24 pins, but Mike kept his foot on the gas, bowling games of 266, 191, 233 to shoot 690 and sweep that match. Mike Boyd.
Now I know why Merle Billy bowled action. He
That's
shot
right.
279 the last game and said, let me go see what I can do after the league's over. I like that,
Yeah,
incidentally.
the confidence.
When you bowl good, you say, you know what, let's see how far I can go. And you got to gamble. Sometimes if you're a bowler, you got to say, you know what, I want to bowl in a tournament, and now's the time to do it. I just shot 279, so I bowled the action tournaments after the league. Again, Mike Boyd, he's good, very good bowler.
Yep.
I think he's very underrated, too. He's averaging 221. He's pretty much had to carry the team. They had a terrible start the first,
He
the
did.
first
Bad
18 weeks. But if he can get loose, give these guys, and these guys can give him a little help, they can make a move in the second half.
They could have. I'm hoping they finish top 10.
So do I.
That's my goal. All right, match number 5 is going to be team number 20, Killer Tomatoes, won 16.5. They're up in 5th place. And they bowled against team number 13, Rolling Thunder, Herb Klein's team, who won 7.5. They're in 20th place. Ron Rosser took games 1 and 3 from Bobby Martin, which was enough to take total 703 to 684 in the leadoff match. Bob Apolloni had a very tight match with newcomer Eugene Janikowski, who will be replacing Corey Brown. Corey was injured in an ATV accident that landed him on the IR for the rest of the season. Eugene won game 1 by a mark, then Bob took game 2 by 12 pins. They tied game 3 with Bob taking the match over Eugene 675 to 673 by 2 pins. Taking the overall match 2.5 points to 1.5 points. Welcome to the league, Mr. Janikowski. John Totten easily won the opening match from Larry Lippman, but Larry put the smackdown on Totten, sweeping him the rest to go 3-1 in their match. Fred Ingles, a recent senior 5-game champion, swept Herb Klein, who just couldn't answer Freddie Ice, as they call him up north. Fred bowled games of 247, 225, 258 for a 738 scratch series. That would be very hard to beat anywhere in the house last week, Larry.
Fred Engels is the most underrated bowler over 50 I've ever met. You know, when I first saw him, I just didn't see anything. You know, and of course I hadn't been here in quite a while. And as the year went on, I watched it, and then he bowled 300 in the league that week, and I said, those are pretty good shots, you know. And I've watched him on Tuesdays bowl colored pin. He throws the ball great. Every shot's the same. He's robotic. He's in a perfect zone for his style. He likes to play anywhere between 6 and 10, and he's got the perfect shot for it. He's up the lane, got a little spinner, soft roll, very accurate, very good bowler, and he's proven it.
I'm happy to see Killer Tomatoes up in the top 5.
So am I. Larry Lippman, all that practice all year, brought his average up to 190, 631 with a 3-1. Good for him. As much as Larry bowls, you got to have one day in the sun, especially if you don't have a tomato company. You need sun.
A lot of sun and rain.
Yes.
All right, match number 6. I don't have that. This is team number 18, Audie Fort Myers. They won 5. They're in 23rd place. They bowled against team number 15, Beach Bowl, who took 19, and they're in 2nd place. Basically, it was just Gary Seitz. Gary Seitz 5 and Beach Bowl 19. We saw Joe Gatewood sweeping, Charlie Triron sweeping, Jerry Muklanic sweeping. I mean, that's tough. That's gonna be tough to beat.
3 sweeps in a row. That's fantastic. I love seeing that because it's so rare. You know, we've seen a 23-1. We've seen some 20s. 19 is a great way to start a second half. That doesn't get you those. The Beach Bowl's been there all year.
All year.
They bowl great all year. James Oswald's put together a very good team and very good subs when he doesn't bowl. He's picked the right bowlers. Tim Sipper bowled very well, 653, 689 handicap. But Gary Seitz has been erratic, but when he's throwing the ball right, you know, he gets lined up early. He's a good bowler.
Thank God for Gary.
Oh yes, thank God.
He got all 5 points.
Yeah.
He won the game 2, and he won
Look
total.
at Muklanic right there again with
Solid.
a big series. 750 a week ago and 719 right behind it. He can bowl.
He's ready now.
He's
He bowled
tough.
hot games too.
I know he bowled.
He looked good.
Bowled our action.
He did. He looked really good.
Good for him.
Yeah, Mark Plasty didn't bowl either, senior.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
Yeah.
So no
Dave
odds.
Blanca, I'm a little surprised in Dave Blanca. He's a very good bowler. He just hasn't been able to really get it going in the league. He can't find it early. He fights it all night.
I see it.
All his moves are either left or right too much. He's never in the right zone. He's getting fooled.
Story of my life. Always fooled.
I know. Move
All right,
left it hangs, move right it hooks, and then you do it all night. You change balls, and it still does the same thing after 3 games. You go, what am I going to do?
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare. All right, match number 7 is team number 24, Eddie Foods. They won 15. They're up in 8th place. They bowl against team number 9, Taps, who won 9. They're in 18th place. Coach Greg started the team off right with a 4-0 sweep over Damon Darling. Greg Lindsay bowled games of 180, then a big game of 267, 220 for 668. Mike Varda took game 1 over Jerry Lake, 238, 272 with handicap. But the great Jerry Lake won the next 2 games and squeaked out total 668 to 666 for a 2-pin victory. In that match, to go 3-1. The Ponds, Joe Ponzio, struggled against Ricardo Arenas Blind, only managing a 2-2 split, bowling a 607 series. And Chris Potanashki, Chris P, won games 1 and 3, 234 and 227 scratch with a 157 game in the middle. Daniel Hyam, who finished second in the senior 5 game of this month, took game 2, and total for a 2-2 split over our head mechanic, Larry.
Well, look how close they were to taking 17. The first game they lost by 16 points. The second game they lost 16 pins. The second game 15 pins. That's 1 open each game. You know, on a double 6 and 3. There's your 15 pins with a strike after it. So they were close. That's the highest they've been all year. You know, it's only week 1. But the bottom line is they're off to a good start. That is a good team. You've got very experienced bowlers there. You know, Lindsay and Lake have bowled a long time in their lives. Chris P, you know, is our mechanic. He knows about lanes. Joe P, one of the hardest workers. Averages are all good, 205 to 220. It's a good team. They're out of the chute good. I expect them to be in the hunt this second 18-week segment.
Yeah, me
all
too.
the way through.
Yeah, they're really gelling.
Yeah.
And they really like bowling with each other too.
Yeah.
It's always a big help. All right. Okay, and match number 8 is going to be our good friends at Tick Transport, who took 20, and they're in first place. And they bowled against team number 11, Aches and Pains. They only won 4, and they're in last. John Bercier swept Joe Smith right out of the gate, shooting 615, 732 with handicap. Joe struggled this week, only shooting 586 scratch, definitely below his average. Russell Willis put together a solid game 2 of 240, but that would be the only point he won versus Craig Streetzel, who won games 1 and 3 and held off a very tough player to barely get total 663 to 659, a 4-pin victory in that match, going 3-1. Mike Jakanski bowled well enough to win his match, 3-1 victory over Gary Seward. Mark took games 1 and 2 and won total with a 527, 647 series. Gary Sena struggling, putting together a 571, 619 for his effort. And Tony Kormansek bowled games of 205, 222, 224 for a 651 series, 759 with handicap to sweep back-to-back Mike Smith, who only managed to shoot 610, 682, Larry.
Well, 20 points. They had a shot at 21, actually. And Preston Willis, who's the best bowler on the team, went 1 and 3, and they still took 20 points. It's an amazing team. The last 12 weeks of the league, the last 3 months of the league, they've got the best won and loss percentage of any team. The high average on the team is 205. I've been saying it all year. There'll be some teams with 90% at 235 that'll be up there. They've got the right chemistry. They know how to win when they have to, and they're not explosive. I mean, when you look at a 205 average is high on the team, and they're leading, of course, it's only 1 week. But the way they came on the last 11 weeks of the first segment, my God, an unbelievable performance. That is a full handicap team beating everyone they bowl the last 12 weeks. They've averaged 650. 650 the last 12 weeks. They've averaged, taken 65% of their points the last 12 weeks. A fantastic performance.
The crazy thing is that...
Yeah, I love it. Because this is what, when you think of handicap bowlers, they're always afraid of bowling scratch bowlers. Well, why wouldn't they? But this is a handicap team that could beat any team in the league, and they probably got the most handicap, or pretty close to
I
it.
think Rolling Thunder does. But the crazy part of this is they shot 27.97, and they win 20.
Yeah. They shoot 23.74. They don't average 200. They don't have to. They could shoot 23.74 every week and get right around 2,800. Even though we've seen a lot of teams lose with 2,800, for some reason they're winning with it.
They just catch the right team at the right time all year.
I know.
Like you see over and over and over, these guys.
And I love it. I think that's what makes bowling so wonderful, is that there's always a team. You think, yeah, they're the underdog, but there they are. They're always winning. Well,
You got a rabbit
so
foot.
it makes it great.
Who's got the rabbit foot on that team? That's all I want to know.
Tony Kermansik's got the rabbit foot.
All right. Match number 9 is Anthony Evanchik, who took game 1 against Jared Eisenberg. 247, 241, but Jared turned on the gas, shooting scratch games of 225, 258, 231 for a 7-14 series and taking the 3-1 victory over Mr. Evanchik. Kevin Day took the opportunity to sweep struggling Chris Hubeck, shooting 606, 705 for the 4-zip victory in their match. Bob McIver returned the favor by sweeping Clark Holloman, who also struggled. Bob bowled games of 203, 199, 195, shooting 597, 705 for the 4-0 victory in that match. The last match saw 2 heavyweights, Scott McDonald versus Chris Rich. Game 1, Scott won with a 248, 214. Match 2, Chris shot 280 scratch to Scott's 247. And match 3 with a barn burner, 201 to 190. Seeing Chris taking the heavyweight bout 3-1, Larry.
Well, Chris Hubeck is much better than that. It's probably the worst week he's had. He's averaging 630 a night. He shoots 530. So there's 100 pins under average, and right off the bat, Kevin Day, who just bowled 606, nothing special, but he got a broom, and that's what happens. You get a guy that shoots 606 at you, and you go 0-4, it's your own fault. I mean, you just bowl bad, especially when you're a 210 average bowler. Yeah. So obviously had a bad night, and that's why they're 8-16. Interestingly, Scott McDonald, who bowls very well, shoots 685, goes 1-3, 247 the second game, loses third game, a bad 190 for him. He's a 225 average bowler. So there you go. You're averaging 225, you shoot 190, you're 35 pins under average. You can't win. Yeah. Can't win when you're giving that kind of handicap away.
How about that lefty Jared Eisenberg from Long Island?
Jared Eisenberg stands right, drips left, his swing is dead lined up for the 7 board. But he's got a ball reaction, he looks pretty good.
He's tough.
218 average.
He's getting up there every week.
Big man, just soft stroke, just rolling it up 7-8. You let him get locked in where his ball goes long and hits that dry right. He's a good bowler.
It is. All right, match number
The
10.
Long Island shot.
All right, match number 10 is going to be Big B bowling tournaments. Team number 716. They dropped down to 22nd place. Team number 18. Team number 10, Build 118. They're up in third. We've seen Adam Chiroba go 3-1 over Doug Lozen. We saw Brendan Carlton show up the first two games 230, 214. He was splitting with Blake Barnard, who shot 234 the last game, 264 with handicap. Split that match 2-2. 752 Blake had a handicap against Brendan Carlton, 732, 20 pins right there. And Wayne Toplin, both games 258, 214 to win the first two matches. But Joe Gordado shot 248, 207, and 248 again, goes 703, 757 to split with Wayne. And Devon Sweeney, the man of the hour, shot 245, 276, 229 for 750 against Robert Hilton's 248, 190, 245 to win that match 801 to 710.
I'll tell you what 19 pins do. 19 pins brings Build 1 to 21 points. Look at Toplin, 273, 266 against Gordado. There's 7 pins. Second game, 229, 225. 4 is 11 pins. And the last game, Hilton, 254, 246, 8 pins to Swiney. 19 pins. They're 19 pins away from 21-3. This is a good team. This is a team I've said all year, and especially with Joe, is coming up with 6 staples in his
back of his hand.
And he bowled 700 2 weeks later after getting 6 staples in there.
That's crazy.
What a comeback.
Yeah,
I didn't think he'd bowl for a month and a half, but getting 6 staples in his bowling hand.
I took the rest of my life.
I mean, that's pretty good. And Damian Swiney had a great year. Very good bowler. Very underrated bowler, 218. Look at the averages, 208, 203, 216, 218. This is a team now in the second half should stay in the top 5. Very good team. Yeah. And they're all buddies. They've all been bowling together forever. I see these guys at across the Cape Coral in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 when I had the stores over there. All bowled together all their lives. Great chemistry on this team.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Good
all right,
team.
Our 11th match is going to be team number 1, Naples Fire Protection. They won 9. They're 17th, and they bowled they bowled against team number 16, Funky Spirit Smell. That's 15 points. They're in 9th. We saw Jason Panicaro picked a good week to struggle versus Ron Rickner, who shot 7 last week. Jason won games 1, 211, 205 handicap. Then took game 2 handicap, 219 and 195. But Ron pulled out game 3, but lost his match versus Jason 3-1. Billy Big Man Morgan struggled all night, didn't even break 600. Josh easily swept Billy 4-0 in that match, shooting 548, 713. JJ Feather bowling one of the hottest players in the league of late, Andy Cox. JJ took game 1, 271 to 230 with handicap. Squeaked out game 2, 223 to 219 by 4 pins. However, Andy bowled a solid game 3, 246 to 182 with handicap, taking game 3 and getting total also for a much needed 2-2 split. The 2019 Proprietors Champ Dennis Beagle swept the self-proclaimed Giant Killer Rob Thor. Dennis took game 1, 255 to 235 with handicap. Game 2 was more of the same. Dennis 251 to 220 handicap. However, Rob tried to keep game 3 close, but the champ prevailed 243 to 236 handicap, taking 4-zip versus Beard Funk Thor, my Monday night teammate.
Well, 22 pins, lose teams total. Right off the bat, you look at that, you look at Billy Morgan's score and Ron Richter, and there it is, there's your 22 pins. Okay. Got 2 guys that are, Ron Richter the week before bowled 700 and Billy about 690. All of a sudden he's 150 pins under his week 18 score in week 19. Billy Morgan 100 pins under. Here's a team that's a good team, but they just can't click.
Yep.
And with Beagle, all of a sudden Beagle bowls great, where the other 2 bowl.
Where are they at?
This is a great team. It's one of the best teams in the league. But again, they don't know how to win. It's kind of scary when you see that, because you watch Tick Transport, they know how to win. Here's a team with very good bowlers.
Should win every week.
I mean, unbelievable.
Yep, they just can't put together at the same time.
I know.
All right. Okay, match number 12 is going to be a team number 3, Autism Awareness, who won 7. They're in 21st. Bowl against team number 14, Fig Jam Alert, who won 17th, who jumped all the way up to 4th place. The 6-time PBA champ Ricky Ward, who struggled with a 627 series, was able to sweep Eric Morrison 642 to 607 with handicap. Icewater lead bowler Red Hot Donnie Schwartz Jr., who also seemed to have his struggles this week. Lead taking games 1 and 2, but Dottie made it interesting, shooting 235, 266 game 3, but was unable to chase down total for a split. Lee got this match 3-1. Billy Seymour caught the legendary Mike Alshire at the right time, sweeping the Miami Strike Machine for Port Charlotte, 658 and 632. And David Stouffer, the man who beat Norm Duke, returned the favor, and the only player who bowled well in this pair, shooting games of 245, 226, 235 for 706, sweeping the pin crusher of Daniel Gacera, who was able to break 600 this week. A lot of those scores for the caliber players on 47-48 must have been a bad pair. I didn't see these scores coming.
Well, this is the first time Fig Jam has bowled bad and dodged the bullet. Ward gets a sweep. He's averaging 684 a night. He shoots 627. Okay. Ratchin gets 3 out of 4. He's averaging 663 a night. He shoots 633. Okay. And then Stouffer's the only one that bowls average. Alshire 0-4, and they still won 17 with the two guys in front of them who don't bowl even close to their average. This is the first time they got a break. That's a scary thing, because you give these guys a break and let them stay close for a while, then they shoot 29-50 scratch. All of a sudden there's a 22-2. They could easily go in first place, and they're right where they want to be right now. They're moving up slowly, gradually in the top 8.
Yeah. Next week we'll have the playoffs where everybody stands. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Also, and on this week's hot seat, it's going to be Tick Transport versus Killer Tomatoes on the TV pair. John Bercier, Preston Willis, Mark Jankowski, Tony Kormansky against Bobby Martin, Bobby Apolloni, Larry Lippman, and Fred Ingalls.
Now, the last time Larry Lippman bowled, he froze. He told me he was so nervous, and I don't think it's going to happen this time. He's bowled pretty good this year. If he can shoot 560, 570, and Freddie Ice keeps bowling well, that's a pretty good team. You know?
I like that team. And so who are you going to pick?
Well, I don't know. I like Fred Ingalls against Tony Kormanek. There's no doubt about it. But Tick Transport is on a roll.
They're in first.
John Bercier against Bobby Martin. I'd automatically take John. I'd take Preston Willis over Bob Apolloni. I would take Matt Jankowski and Larry Lippman as a wash. I would take Freddie Ingalls over Tony. But if Freddie doesn't bowl good, that team's in a lot of trouble.
That's right.
So there we go again.
Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
We'll probably do the poll again, and then we're probably going to give away whoever picks the right team. Those people will be in a drawing. We'll draw a name out of the hat, and they'll get the Lightning Strikes tournament jersey.
I like
with a name
that.
on the back.
I like that. I like
Exactly.
the Lightning Strike tournament
Me
shirts.
too.
I like our Lightning Strike shirts. They're beautiful.
Yeah, awesome.
I love when our people wear them.
You look
Wonderful
good,
to see.
You look at the state.
All right, so go ahead, ask me.
I would, but
What was it like yesterday in Arlington, Texas?
I would.
Why don't you ask me?
I gotta go bowl.
Okay. Oh, you got a bowl?
Yeah, you hear it?
I hear it. Well, I was there,
Yeah.
and I've seen 5 live TV 300s. Okay, the last one was 1994. And when I left the tour in 96, I knew I'd never see a live TV 300 again. I don't go to any TV shows. So this is the 3rd TV show I've been to since 1996. 3.
Wow.
And I saw what I saw yesterday, and I'm still in shock. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. The crowd was going crazy. It was the opening tournament of the new year on Fox. It was the first tournament for Bolero. It was at the USBC Research Center. It was the Hall of Fame championship. He gets inducted the night before, comes out the next day, wins the tournament, shoots 300. I don't know who the script writers are. But I'll tell you right now, that was the greatest thing I've seen in 25 years since Petraglia shot 300 in Toledo in '94. Most exciting day in professional bowling, in my opinion, in 25 years.
Yeah. And you were all over the TV screen.
I was right there. I loved it. I was treated like royalty. I get treated like royalty here, but you know, you go there, you're a little apprehensive. I'm an outsider now. I'm not on that tour. You know, I'm a homebody. And I went there, and the people treated me so wonderful, and I had the time of my life with Walter Ray and Norm Duke and Del Ballard, and watching Tommy Jones get inducted, and seeing Jacob Butterup and E.J. Tackett, some of the young stars at Belmonte, and Anthony Simonson. These guys are fantastic. But Tommy Jones yesterday showed me what a champion is. 190 to 180 to get to the title match. After barely getting into the title match. I mean, one more bad ball, he doesn't get there. And then he figures them out, and all of a sudden it's 300.
That's right.
Lost to 300. That's the sign of a great champion. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Can you hear more about this on Wednesday night in our live?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of things to talk about.
Can't wait for that.
You know, I'm so lucky to live stream, and when I went there yesterday, a lot of people said they watched it, said they love watching it. It does a lot for bowling, and that's my job, is to promote the sport, and I love doing it with you here at Lightning Strikes. I love promoting the sport here. It makes my week every Saturday and Wednesday when I live stream. I want to thank Chuck Rucker for taking my place.
Did a good job.
On Saturday, did a wonderful job. I listened to it. I went back to my room and watched it after the dinner and pulled it up. And it was great. Went to the Hall of Fame dinner and came back to the room and watched
We
it.
got to watch all the way to Orlando while we were going to go bowl senior state.
It was great.
It was great.
Our live
Patty
stream was
Cooper won.
wonderful. It does so much for bowling in Southwest Florida.
So fun.
And we're honored to be able to do it and bring bowling into your living rooms.
All right, I cut it short because I have to go shoot 300 myself
All
right
right,
now.
go ahead. We're ready.
And I'll see you
We'll
guys on
live
Wed-
stream your 300. I'll come down and run down and hug you.
you're
Like I
right.
did Petraglia
Yeah?
in '94.
I
I'll
did
give
a
you
hug.
the big hug for
It's been a while.
100,000.
It's been a
That
couple
was a
years.
$100,000 hug when I did that.
Tommy got 10,000?
Tommy got 10, but just as
Got
much.
gypped.
He got the title.
All right.
That's the key. He's got 20. He's got his 20 title. When Petraglia shot 300, he didn't win the title.
Yeah, he did.
One of the Traber brothers bowled each other, and Dave Traber beat Dale. But Walter Ray was the loser of Petraglia's 300 game. A little trivia question. When Johnny Petraglia shot 300, who did he beat? The greatest of all time, Walter Ray Williams.
All right, we'll see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, everybody.
Sorry about the cameras and the mics. It's a mess in here today.
Yeah,
So we'll see you on Wednesday.
it's technology.
It's awful.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.